My name's Douglas Finch, and this is my war story. I was born in New York, Delaware County, in a very violent home. When I was brought in this world, my mom was 5 months pregnant with twins, and I was brought in this world a way that nobody ever should be brought in. My dad backed my mom in a corner and beat her in the stomach till I fell out, and my little brother did. My mom rolled over on top of me and saved my life, and my dad stomped the other baby to death and buried him out behind a woodshed. He brutally beat my mama almost to death, and she was saving my life. From then until I was going to grade school, I guess, all I could remember was hiding from that man. My mom built me a safe room up under the staircase. My father was an alcoholic. I don't remember any holiday at all that he didn't demolish the house. My grandfather on my dad's side was a moonshiner, and that's the first time I experienced liquor, and it was before grade school. I got thrown out of school for drinking in grade school. 5th grade, I got caught with whiskey, selling it to the high school kids. I, drank and hid it for years. I hid my drinking problem. Just thought I had it under control, but I was just putting up a good front. Born about 8 miles from where they had Woodstock. I was 9 years old. I went to Woodstock. That's the first time I did LSD. Until 1981, I overdosed on LSD, and that's when I quit doing chemicals. But I still had my drinking problem, and I tried to hide it from my children, but I know that they knew, but they just never said anything to me. I was living in Gulfport, Mississippi, and during Katrina in 2005, and they made me leave. The National Guard came and said we had to leave on a Saturday night because the storm was going to hit Gulfport. So they took us to Texas out there, Austin, Texas, in the football stadium. And I was there maybe 2 to 3 hours. I seen 3 rapes and 2 stabbings, and I said, well, this is not the place for me. And I got a ride. The guy said he was going to Chicago, up Highway 55. But he said he wasn't allowed to have riders, but he'd be more than happy to take me as far as he could. I got there, at the truck stop coming into the Tennessee line. The truck driver pulled off with what few clothes I had and what little bit of money I had. Pulled off with it inside his truck, so I was standing there with not knowing what to do. And I went to the little town I was at, and they had a place where you could get breakfast, and I went in there and told them, I got $1.69 or something like that. I had 67. Could I get something to eat with that? Biscuit or something. And the lady told me, she said, well, I'll get you some biscuits and gravy. I sat down, and there was a young lady there named Nikki. She was just asking me, what I was doing. I told her, my story. And she says, oh, I know a man named David Benson that's got a ministry that you could go stay at, and he'd help you get your life together. And she said, well, let's call him. And she called him up, and I talked to David, and he told him about his ministry and about his place for homeless people and, people with drug and alcohol problems. Well, I was heavy medicated at that time because I'm bipolar, and I was taking all kinds of mind-altering drugs. I was on like 12 or 15 different pills, and when I was talking to David, he says, well, you can't take none of them at my facility. I've been taking these for 20 years, I don't know if I can just throw them down like that. He said, well, you can't take them. He says, but I'd be more than happy to help you. So I threw the pills away and went up there to David and said, well, I'm interested in, staying for a little while, but I don't know if I want to stay a year. I said, I have a reading disability. I got dyslexic. I see everything backwards and upside down. I don't read real proper. And he said, we can work with that. So I stayed a month, and then a month turned into 17 months, and I graduated, and I learned to read the Bible while I was there. I left a lot of the junk I was carrying inside of me at the cross, and for somebody like me that comes straight out of the streets, and alcoholic, drug addict, to come and be clean and sober for 5 years, I don't even remember being clean and sober for 3 weeks, After I graduated, I went back to Indiana to see my daughter, and she didn't even know who I was because she's never seen me sober in her lifetime. She's 38 years old and never had seen me sober. So God cleaning me up and just showing me there's just so much in life that you can do. You know, everybody says being a Christian ain't fun. I've had more fun being a Christian than I ever had in my life.